If your principles are temporary, they are not principles. All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party. So just a short, quick, fun one for you guys today. I saw this from Jimmy Dore, and he's just playing a clip, and there's not really too much to it. I kind of just wanted to show it to you guys and talk a little bit about it. So definitely be ready to comment your thoughts below.
And this is a comedian from somewhere where they speak English with an accent. And he's got some regrets.
Regrets? Regrets about what?
I regret having gotten the vaccine. I really regret having gotten the vaccine.
Wow. I wonder if he's the only person who feels that way.
I'm sure it's fine, but I just wish when the state told me to do something, I'd be the sort of person who said no. But it turns out I'm the sort of person who says, fine.
And too many people are like that. Too many people are just, fine. Many of us, however, we're strong enough to say no. And if you are one of those people, you will definitely find a home at the Indian Jesus Discourse server where the party never ends. That's right, 24/7 we are in there hanging out, having cool conversations, and after every single live stream, we go in there for an after party where you're not just stuck behind your keyboard, you're actually on screen with me and everybody else. You can come up if you want to, you don't have to. Either way, it is a grand old time. Come and join us.
I don't understand what's going on. You're telling me it's important. Okay. And all they had to do was say, you won't be allowed to go into pubs for like a month. And I was like, put it in me. That's what I'm upset about, is that I had a principle temporarily. Like, if I was in Nazi Germany, I would have stood up to the regime. I wouldn't stand up to not being able to go to a pub for a month.
Yup. And he's making a joke, but that is absolutely spot on. With so many people who want to, with their Twitter fingers, or I should say, Twitter fingers, want to act like they're so virtuous, and they're fighting the power, the powers that be. They're fighting the oppressors. They're this or that. The biggest thing in our lifetime, and you fold. For what? For what? It's pathetic. But I mean, that's most of you, so I'm sorry to be talking about you like that. But there's a reason that we need people to have individual constitution enough to stand up for what they believe in. Principles are not principles if they are temporary.
I would have been like, Anne Frank, she's in that attic there. I saw her. It doesn't matter what the point of principle was. The point is I would have been a shill.
Would have been. You are a shill. You are a shill. You didn't stand up and say, even though that you had those opinions, you didn't stand up and say anything. You were quiet, and you let the rest of us be treated like second-class citizens. Would have been a shill. Sir, you are a shill.
I have to live with that for the rest of my 3 or 4 more years before I have a heart attack.
Oh, God.
That's a good comment.
Right? So, I mean, that, just a short thing there. I thought it was really funny. I mean, it's so easy how we forget. And it's so easy how we can imagine ourselves in this fantasy world where we are so much different than we actually are in real life. I don't know how this wasn't a wake-up call to so many people that, I understand. I understand that when everything was going on, not everybody knew what was going on. There was jobs, there was families, there was a lot to worry about. But it only got that far because it was allowed to go that far. It only went that far because it was allowed to go that far. The people have the power, not the government. Unless you just serve it up to them on a silver platter. And that is the mentality of too many people. That's a mentality of people who are engaged in politics. And then there's a huge cohort of people who are not really involved in politics. And so they just think, yeah, I guess I heard this thing. Somebody told me to do this. And it was like, what? Casey Neistat, he was like, oh, yeah, I drove up to a 7-Eleven. I stuck my arm out the car window. Like, you let a 7-Eleven employee inject you without any, did you fill out a form? Did they ask you if you were allergic to penicillin? Did they say any of these? How is that a good way to make sure that you are making the right choices in life? It's not. So I just wanted to show this to you guys because I think it's really poignant. And I think we're going to see a lot more of this rhetoric that, hey, I shouldn't have done that. I wish I would have waited. I wish I would have done this. I wish things would have been different. I wish I had the power to stand on my principles, to have principles in the first place. And these are the same people who will go around and lecture everybody else about what's right and wrong. But they don't even have a bedrock, a foundation of morality from which to be preaching. So, I mean, you just remember, guys. Remember that these people are, it's virtue signaling. They want to make you feel bad because they are just as crappy people. And the only way for them to feel better, because they're not willing to actually do anything that would make them a better person, is to bring you down. They want to bring you down. That's the only way. And if we don't look out for this, if we don't keep this present in our minds, then it's going to snowball, as it has been, but it's going to continue, and it's going to get worse. We see it in every area. This one, obviously was just the biggest and most egregious overreach of government and the most egregious failure of really the world. But I mean, I'm focused on America. The failure of Americans to come together and to actually fight the oppressors for once, where there actually were real oppressors and real people oppressed. But no. It's all about LGBT, this, all that. I talk about that because y'all fight for that. If it would just go away, then I wouldn't have anything to talk about. But it doesn't. Because it snowballs. It goes to this person, to that person, to that person, to that person. And while it's going from person to person to person, it gets more extreme and more extreme and more extreme. When does it stop? It only stops when you stand up. When you keep your principles. If your principles are temporary, they are not principles. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. Once again, I have been your host, Lutch, a.k.a. The Indian Jesus. Catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Until then, guys, I am out of here. Peace.